Now I can read to my grandchildren again. It started back in 2012 when I went with a group from my church on a mission trip to Koboko, Uganda, in Africa. We took a suitcase full of just store-bought reader eyeglasses, and held an eye clinic. We used an eye chart like we do when we go to the eye doctor. They check to see what we can read before it gets blurry. So we tested hundreds of residents of Koboko and matched them up as close as we could with reader eyeglasses. I was nose to nose with this little lady that, as I put those reader glasses on her, her eyes got big and she started crying. And she said, "Now I can read to my grandchildren again. I haven't been able to do that in 2 years." It's been all these years, and that still gets me thinking about that and seeing the tears wash down to the little mud streaks from the African dust over there on her face. And she was so grateful for that little $2 pair of reader eyeglasses. Also, they didn't have running water in Koboko. I was with a team of 20 members, and we worked at the orphanage. We did the eye clinic. We visited the health clinics and took the nets there for the beds. And towards the end of the week that we were there, our clothes were getting a little dusty and dirty, and we had one fellow that offered to launder our clothes for all 20 of us. So we said, sure. We all chipped in a little bit of money and sent him on his way, and he rode his bicycle with a bundled up sack, like a pillowcase on his bicycle, and took our dirty clothes away. The very next day, he brought our clothes back all neatly folded and clean, and we paid him for his services. And I asked our team member, "Is the laundromat close by here?" He got those to us really quick. And Tom, our team member, reminded me, he said, "Esther, there's no running water in Koboko." He did all those by hand. I was floored. I just didn't even think about the fact that he washed all of our clothes by hand on a little washboard, folded them and brought them back neatly. Their water is very scarce there. The little motel that we stayed in, they had running water for us because they had these big tanks up above, little reservoir tanks on the roof that they were able to fill with water and bring there in a truck and place on there so that we would have running water when we came to serve them. And so we had the running water there to try to shower with, a luxury that many of them don't have. They don't even have windows on their little huts on a lot of their houses. After I had returned home, I hosted a couple of little girls that were participating in the African Children Choir, and they came to our town, and so I volunteered to host 3 little girls 2 years in a row. The little girls love tea, and so I fixed a cup of tea for them. And when the one girl finished drinking it, she went to the faucet and barely turned the water on. And she carefully washed her cup real fast and rinsed her hands at the same time in that water, and then turned it off so that she didn't waste any water. And I think, how often do we brush our teeth and leave the water running as we're brushing away? How often are we at the sink and we turn the water on and we go off and leave it till it gets hot, and we come back and we don't think twice about it? These little girls asked me if they could take a bath rather than a shower the night before their performance. And I said, of course. Well, the three of them went in the bathroom and were undressing to take a bath together. And I heard the water running for just a short time and then it stopped. So I knocked on the door and they gleefully yelled, come in. So I went in and they had about an inch of water in that bathtub. And the three of them were just in heaven in that inch of water playing in the bathtub. They don't have much clean water to even play as a swimming pool back home. I looked at them and I said, oh, honey, fill it up. And I turned that water on and filled that tub as full as they could get it without it splashing everywhere on the floor. And they must have been in there for over an hour playing. And even their water had to be cold by then, but they were in there playing in that water. I look around me and I think how much we have. We have running water, we have clean water, healthy water. We have electricity. Many of the places there did not have electricity. If you ever get a chance to go to a third world country and see how they live, you'll come back home with a totally different mindset. And I'm not saying that you don't appreciate what you have at all, but now I realize how fortunate I am to be in this country that we live in, that we have plenty. So next time you turn that water on, I bet you start thinking about it. Turn that water back off as I brush my teeth. Have a wonderful day.